Hey guys, Arun this side, and today actually I wanted to tell you a secret about our office. We were trying to interview a lot of DBAs, and I've been interviewing for a couple of DBAs for like months, and finally I've got one DBA in the team. And let me introduce this DBA in the team, and its name is Tony. So guys, put your hands together and let's welcome Tony. Okay, this is Tony, and the best part about Tony is whatever I say to Tony, it will always say yes. For example, you want to test? Okay, Tony, shall we start the third episode? Yeah. You see? So, Tony, shall we log on to our system? Yeah. And Tony is always eager to learn new things. So everyone guys say hi to Tony, and Tony and I will start our third episode. I will see you. Actually, we will see you on the other side.
Welcome back guys to the Daily DBA show. I'm your friend Arun Kumar, and the goal of this show is to help you become Oracle expert. Guys, I have a small complaint with everyone. The couple of shows that I have posted on YouTube and also on podcasting platforms, I observed that not many of you are watching till the end of the show. By the way, do you know that at the end of every show, I also have a bonus question? And after the bonus question, I also have a tip of the day. So in case you have missed watching the bonus questions and the tip of the day in my previous episodes, I recommend you to watch all the shows till the end. And now let us start today's show. Okay, let me tell you this. The third question is my personal favorite one. Alright, so without wasting further time, let us begin our show with the first question of the day. How can I check RMAN Advanced Compression License inside Oracle? Any specific query? Guys, for the advanced RMAN compression levels, it's really hard to figure out because it's completely separate, and the licensing, you cannot actually get those details by running a query inside the database. And for that, the only way to figure out your Oracle compression license, in case if you have advanced compression license or not, is by talking to the Oracle account, whoever is your account holder or the accounts manager. You need to check with the account manager, whoever is managing the Oracle account for your client. Talk to them. They should be able to let you know what all licenses you have purchased, or else raise a non-technical SR with Oracle, and they should be able to tell you whether you have the advanced RMAN compression licensing or not. And also remember, the Enterprise Edition allows you only for the basic compression. It does not mean that if you have purchased the Enterprise Edition, you are allowed to use the advanced RMAN compression. Not at all. And recently guys, I still remember I have a close friend, and he sent me a message on WhatsApp saying like they have some issues with the advanced compression, and Oracle was complaining that they are using the advanced compression method even without having the license. It happens because not many DBAs know that using the advanced compression method inside RMAN does involve a separate license. Even if you have Enterprise Edition, still you need to purchase a separate license for advanced compression. To answer this question, there is not really a query inside Oracle that you can just type in and find the answer for the advanced compression licensing. Speak to your Oracle account manager or raise a non-technical SR with Oracle to get the answer. Let's move on. The next question we have is, what is the difference between PDB and application PDB? This is an interesting one, guys. PDB is a pluggable database, right? And if you all know, when you perform a container database installation or when you set up an Oracle container database, by default you get a seed database. That is a seed pluggable database. Now the job of the seed PDB is only to provide you a template so that when you create another PDB or a new PDB inside the Oracle container database, Oracle will copy the seed PDB to create other PDBs inside the container database. So basically seed PDB acts as a template PDB, right? So this is a normal container database. Now in general, for applications, a PDB acts as a normal database. Every single PDB inside a container database acts or looks as a completely different database to the application or to the people or to the users who are connecting to the database. By just connecting to the PDB, not many users can tell whether it's a standalone database or actually a PDB database until unless they have the admin level query access. That being said, now the question is, what is this application PDB? Understand this, guys. So you built an application for which you created a database, a template database. Let's hypothetically we build one application. So let us assume we are building an application for a school. Now for a school, we know that the basic tables and schemas that we need is like staff, students, and we also need to have some tables related to marks, some tables related to admissions, some tables related to results, other tables like time management, timetable and all, right? So we create this template database. Understand the term I'm using, template database. So we created this template database inside a PDB. Now whenever there is a new school that is going to start, what we do is we don't really build the database from scratch. We can copy this template and just give the application access to the new database. That way, let's take the school as given franchise to one location. So what we do is we copy the template database for the new location and we just create the database. And the same thing happens for the second location, third location and fourth locations. Understand, in future, if you want to make changes to the new application database, you will always change the template, right? So what we have done in this scenario is we created a template database and we are cloning only the template database. If we want to make any changes, we make changes to the template database. That's our school underscore template. I'm just giving a name to our template database. So this school underscore template database that we have created, this is now an application PDB because it's a PDB which is a template to a particular application. Now this school underscore template PDB will act as a seed PDB to all the school applications. So that's the difference. I'm really not sure if I was able to convey my point. So I'll rephrase things once again just to keep it simple. So you have seed PDB, and whenever you create a PDB inside container database, they will copy the seed PDB, right? Now in an application, at an application level, you might want to create a template PDB. So this template PDB is known as application PDB. So when you have more applications, what you do, you just copy this template application PDB, which acts like a seed application PDB, and you just keep on cloning the application PDB. So when you create a PDB which is specific to an application, like in our case we created a PDB for school, then it becomes an application PDB. So you can very well say that of course we have seed PDB in a normal container. You yourself can create template PDBs which are dedicated to an application, which acts like a template for an application. And whenever you want to scale your applications, you can copy from those application PDBs, which are like your template PDBs, or you can also call them application level seed PDBs. I hope that helps you. All right, moving on. A lot of DBAs are worried about future of what will happen once autonomous DB comes. Many think they will lose jobs. Please answer. Remember guys, before the start of this show, I mentioned this is my favorite question. Why? Because I'm really not sure why everybody is scared of autonomous database. I'll tell you what. The autonomous database at this stage is only available inside Oracle Cloud. So it's not really like your 12c on a physical system is by default becoming autonomous. Not like that. So only if you deploy your applications into Oracle Cloud, this is a new service, and that particular service is only autonomous. Of course, if you just talk about that Oracle autonomous database inside the cloud, it is auto-scalable, it tunes the queries automatically, it scales automatically, and it has all the properties that a DBA has to execute. It takes up the backups automatically, it has auto scheduling of rebuilding indexes and whatnot. But understand this, for all the databases in the world, I'm talking about all the Oracle databases which are on physical systems, let us do a simple math. How many of the world's Oracle databases do you think would be currently on Oracle Autonomous Service? Probably 0.5%, right? So understand, for all those 99.5% databases which are not on autonomous cloud, and some of them who cannot afford the Oracle Autonomous Database because it's a little costly, you still have a lot of time for all these 99.5% databases to move into the autonomous cloud. Now, because of this, so many students are rushing for learning cloud. I mean, it's a good thing, but my major concern with learning cloud is you should actually learn cloud from a person who is a DBA and who has migrated into cloud. I'll tell you the reason why. Cloud is a complete infrastructure, right? So in cloud, you have multiple skill set, like you have system admin, you have storage admin, you have network admin, you have programmers, you have developers, and you also have DBAs. Understand this, a system admin who has become a cloud architect, if you learn cloud from them, their perspective for the cloud will be different. If you try to learn cloud from a network engineer who has migrated to cloud networking, trust me, it will be hard for you to understand cloud because you need a DBA perspective. You do not need some other perspective. Cloud is big. So that's my biggest concern. Many students run for cloud trainings and then they send me an email saying like, Arun, I completed my cloud training, but I don't know what to do. And my answer to them is like, why don't you speak to the trainer? So like, coming back to your question, like many DBAs will lose their jobs? Not really. Now, whether it is autonomous database, remember, still you as a DBA need to help the companies to migrate the databases to cloud. That requirement will always be there. You still be responsible for client interactions because clients will still need you help with creating the schemas, giving the permissions, and that's something really cannot be automated, right? Because it's an application requirement. Now, whenever there is an upgrade in the application, you are supposed to upgrade the database also. Of course, to some degree, the database upgrades is also autonomous in the autonomous cloud service, but still you need a sync with the application. Understand, if the database is automatically getting upgraded, as in when Oracle releases the new version, what will happen? The application does not support the new version, then you need a rollback, right? And what if a user runs wrong transactions? You still need a DBA to figure out the issue, to fix the issue. So ultimately, it's not 100% that DBAs are going to lose the job. It's wrong thinking. But if you want to get comfortable with cloud, I would request you to start investing in cloud because this is the right time. Start learning cloud, and once you try to become a cloud DBA, that's when you will still understand that there are a lot of new roles and responsibilities for a cloud DBA. So for all the other DBAs who are listening to this show, I would like to warn you, please do not spread rumors saying like autonomous database will take away your jobs until unless you really know what are the new cloud roles and responsibilities of a DBA. Now, if you are clear on the cloud DBA roles and responsibilities, you will feel more comfortable thinking like, okay, I need to learn other list of skills which are related to cloud DBA, and that's when your career will be secure. So without any fear with the cloud, let's move on to the next question. I dropped temp tablespace on primary database and created new temp tablespace, but same temp tablespace was not created on standby database. Come on, why do you think the temp tablespace will be created on the standby database? The standby file management, if you set that parameter to auto, it only applies to data files. It does not apply to temp files. If you are working with temp files in physical standby or primary and standby setup, then whenever you add a temp file in the primary, you have to add the temp file manually in the standby. It will not be automatically added. So now you might have a doubt saying like, okay Arun, then how come the temp file is added when I create a standby database? When you perform an RMAN duplicate for the first time for creating the standby database, physical standby, RMAN will automatically create the temp table space for you. But after you build the standby, anything that you have to do with the temp table space, it has to be done manually. The standby file management parameter which you set to auto, it does not apply to temp table spaces. It only applies to the data file. So if you add a data file on primary to a table space, it will be automatically added onto the standby. Now that being said, guys, one important point which is away from this question. Many a times I have seen this problem inside the databases. What junior DBAs will do, they will add a data file in the primary database and their standby will start giving complaint that there is no enough disk space on the standby. Now this problem happens because when you ask storage team to allocate space on the primary database, the junior DBAs forget to get the space allocated on the standby also. Now when they try to add a data file in the primary, so primary has the storage space at the mount point, so the data file will be added. But when the standby file management parameter comes in effect, when you add a data file, of course the redo entry goes on to the standby and standby is trying to add another data file. At that point of time, the mount point on the standby does not have the storage because you never requested for the storage. So I have this problem with all the junior DBAs, whoever work on a physical standby setup. Whenever there is a storage requirement or storage request that they have to send on a monthly or weekly or quarterly basis, then they always forget to get the storage allocated onto the standby, and which technically is the general issue which I find in physical standby setup, and also the general issue which I face with the junior DBAs in my team. Alright, moving on. My procedure. I'm trying to insert data in temporary table by using select statement. How to improve the performance of this select statement? In select statement, I'm using aggregate function. This insert statement itself taking 30 to 45% of the time in procedure execution. Wow, this question is related to performance tuning. And guys, as I always say, whenever you send this kind of data or this kind of questions to me, please include statements that you're mentioning or the procedure that you're using to perform the insert, because it will help me to give you more details. By just listening to this question, I really cannot tell where exactly the problem is, but I'll give my overall idea, like what all you can do to improve the inserts. So as I see this question, you mentioned that you are trying to insert data into a temporary table by using select statement. So if you look at only the select part of the statement, you must look at which index it is using and how the select statement is getting the rows from the table. Because when you run a select statement, you must check two things: which index it is using, or is the statement going for a full table scan. If you can get those two data, that's when you can move on to the insert part. Now when you come to the insert part, I have a couple of recommendations when you deal with temp tables. Guys, creating temp tables multiple times inside Oracle database is not a good idea, and it actually abuses the Oracle database. I'll tell you the main reason. When you create the temp table, what happens is the table is permanent, but the rows inside the table are temporary. This is the biggest problem. So whenever you're creating temp tables back and forth, those tables are getting created inside the database, even though they are temp tables. But whenever you insert the records, those records are inserted into the temp segments. That's where it uses the temp table space. So when you log out from your session and log in back again, definitely you won't find those records. So on this note, I would request, in case if this is for testing purpose, great. I mean, you can just test and use it and throw it off. For this kind of question, because we don't have enough data provided, I really can't recommend anything, but I can say two important things. One is look at the select statement and see whether it is going for an index scan or full table scan. And the second one is try to reduce the usage of temp tables inside the Oracle database because it actually abuses the system. Alright guys, I had these 5 important questions for the day, and now let's move on to the bonus question. Alright guys, so I have this one question which I have actually chosen for the bonus question, and it goes like this. If I want to learn on more database administration, which one should I take up? Right now, 2 database admin revolving on my mind, Oracle Big Data Cloud or SQL Server. Please suggest. I guess guys, I would not suggest you to go for either of them because I have a different outlook when it comes to Oracle database technologies. Remember this guys, Oracle RAC technology was created even when cloud was booming, right? So during the Oracle RAC period, the physical systems were more important, like the physical databases, all the physical servers were existing, and RAC was built on to set up the load balancing on the physical servers. Now when it comes to cloud, in cloud we do have load balancing automatically enabled. Not automatically, I think you have to enable it. So they provide you a lot of load balancing at different levels. So you have network level load balancing, you can also set up instance level load balancing, you can also set up server level load balancing, you can also set up disk level load balancing. So now that we have so many options, Oracle RAC is getting diminished. Alright, so you can tell me like, okay Arun, I didn't ask you Oracle RAC. So why am I giving you this example? Understand, RAC was an amazing technology way back 5 years before, but today it is getting diminished, right? Because the introduction of the cloud. Now the same thing is happening with all other technologies when it comes to Oracle. So now you might ask like, okay Arun, what do you suggest? My suggestion is to go for Oracle Golden Gate. There is one big reason for Oracle Golden Gate guys. Remember, Oracle Golden Gate solves one of the biggest business problems. It is not a database problem, it is not an application problem, it is a business problem solver. Business problem solver. And what is that? It is called as replication. So guys, replication is a business requirement. Business will always have multiple databases, whether it is physical servers, whether it is cloud servers, and data replication is a business requirement which is needed by every business. In that kind of scenario, the number one replication tool that we have in the market is Golden Gate, right? So because Golden Gate being number one replication tool in the market, and businesses will continue to have database replication requirement in future, Golden Gate becomes the number one tool that I recommend for all of you to invest right now. Because for next 5 to 7 years, if you want to have mileage on your resume, if you want to have evergreen career at least for next 5 to 7 years, I think Golden Gate would be my best bet, nothing else. I have seen clients firing the DBAs, but I have never seen a client firing a Golden Gate DBA, because all the Golden Gate experts will have evergreen job, whether clients' databases reside on physical servers or if they reside on cloud. Alright guys, so I would like to wind up today's session with these important questions. I highly encourage you to post your questions below the comments, and if you are watching this video on YouTube, I want you to put all your doubts in the comments. Try to share the video as much as possible. Help me reach my goal. I want to reach every single DBA on this planet, so please heavily share these videos. If you are listening this on the podcasting platform, I recommend you to send your questions to support@dbagenesis.com, and I promise you I'll pick up all your questions and answer as many questions as possible in the upcoming episodes. That's all for now guys. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.